Oh, the moon car. A cool little set from Lego Ideas.
Not cool enough for us to be able to buy it like any other set. It's a gift with purchase, McCluck. No, it's not. You must use insider points to get it, which you can only acquire through previous purchases of other Lego products. And then, once you've reached the required number, in this case 2,500, you can't even order it on its own. It must be part of yet another purchase with at least one other Lego product. It's a swizz, if you ask me. With a gift with purchase, you just need to buy enough to qualify on the day.
But you've got to do it fast. GWPs don't last long. Insider point gifts, however, last a bit longer.
You're absolutely right, guys. They're both schemes to get you to buy more Lego than you might not otherwise would.
It gives you that exclusive feeling. And let's not forget the dreaded FOMO.
I can't disagree, which is why I feel lucky we were able to get a copy ourselves.
There's also an alternative. You're free to download the instructions and order the parts separately, since there are no unique ones and no stickers.
Can't wait for us to build it.
And modify it.
Modify it?
Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself there. Let's build this bad boy first, shall we? It comes in a little box and is made up of 211 pieces, which are divided into 4 bags.
Actually, you only need the first 2 bags to build the car. It's an interesting build, which was actually more complex than it first appeared, with many stud-on-the-side constructions.
Whereas the other 2 bags are for the lunar landscape.
And the completed build is actually pretty interesting in itself. Like, you start with just a frame, which is pretty simple, and slot inside it the lunar landscape, which is all built on its side.
I thought it was interesting that the landscape just rests inside the frame. There's no studs to attach it or anything.
Whereas I appreciated how the car attaches itself to the landscape, with a couple of grooves on the underside that slot into the specially made raised platform.
Which means you can easily take it off and swoosh it around if you like. And it also comes with the driver and passenger, sporting last year's city space outfits and a fishbowl of sorts for the helmets.
The future is bold, even for the women.
So yeah, overall, for what it is, it's not bad at all.
I've got the feeling there's a but waiting to come out.
Well, it certainly could be a tad better.
Isn't that the case for every set? There's always room for improvement, right?
Of course there is, but in this case it's particularly obvious, since you can compare the final product with the original fan submission.
They always change those.
Interestingly enough, in this case, the changes were extremely minor, but that makes what was left out even more noticeable. So I thought it would be fun to get back most of what we lost and maybe add a few new touches while we're at it.
So what are we waiting for?
Let's get modding.
Okay, so one of the most noticeable differences between what we got and the original submission is the windscreen. This one's so small and puny to the point of being totally useless, so let's get rid of it. And while we're at it, let's remove that very simplistic speedometer, which actually comes from the Friends theme.
Not the best dashboard Legos ever produced.
And we're also going to have to remove that round 1x1 plate, which will get in the way of what I want to do next.
So, what's the plan?
I'm adding a 2x6 plate with rounded corners, just like the original submission had. Well, except that part doesn't actually exist in light blue.
Bloody renders.
Yeah, color availability doesn't matter when you work digitally. However, there is an easy workaround. Since the final model has the rear fins in white, why not just have that part in white as well? Which then allows us to place the larger, better windscreen on our model.
Definitely a better choice.
Weird it wasn't chosen for this model. I mean, it's been in production since 2008 and has appeared in Transclear in 37 sets, including 2 in 2024. And actually, heck, it's still available on LEGO's online Brick store.
And so's the rounded plate. Who knows what LEGO were thinking? Okay, now, I could place that Friends dashboard piece back, but to be frank, it's just too cartoony for my liking.
They probably chose it because it's the only white 1x2 slope piece that comes with a dashboard print.
Quite likely.
Be thankful it's a print and not a sticker then.
Oh, I am, but I feel there are other, better alternatives. LEGO have made a bunch of dashboard prints using the same slope piece, and even though they come in colors other than white, I think they could work just as well. There's this one, for instance.
A recent piece, still in production.
Or that one.
That one hasn't been seen since 2022, so you can only find it via Brinklink if you wanted it.
Or maybe this futuristic like scanner.
Another one still in production.
But I think my favorite one would have to be this one.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one. It's been around since 2017 and going strong. Excellent choice, Captain.
And just for fun, I thought I'd add a quarter circle tile on either side of that dashboard. Now, for the print between the seat, it's again a pretty basic one.
It's the same piece found in all the latest city space sets to represent the battery charge, so it's readily available.
Just because something's readily available doesn't mean it's the right choice, Mouse. What do you guys think of this one as an alternative?
It's a pretty old print from the Spurious theme, which is from the end of the last millennium. Don't we use that exact same print for our communicators?
Yeah, you're right. Okay, how about this one from the Explorians theme, which has the advantage of being printed on a white tile, just like the one from the official set?
That as may be, but 1, that piece is rare as it's over 25 years old, and 2, it works best in landscape rather than portrait.
So you're not going to be a fan of this one then?
Seriously? The Ice Planet theme is from the same time period, more or less, and it too works better in landscape than portrait.
Well, these 3 options may be old, but you can still find them on Brinklink for a reasonable price. But, okay, if you want something more modern, how about this one?
Oh, I quite like that one.
Well, it's bright and all, but I'd argue it's yet another 1x2 print that works better in landscape. Seems to be a recurring problem.
Okay, well, there's this one then. It's a modernized reprint. It's got quite a sleek look, it's designed to look good in portrait, and it's even currently available on LEGO's online store.
That one looks the most dashboardy, and it fits most of our criteria.
So we'll go with that one. Excellent. And to finish off the changes for the car, I thought I'd replace this white 3x3 plate with a tan one. You can't see its color anywhere else, and it's a bit of a puzzle why it didn't come in that color in the first place to match the rest of the seats.
It's weird, since numerous sets produced this year come with that piece in that color, so it's not like it wasn't in production at the time. Yet another mystery decision from the only the best is good enough company.
Although I must admit, it was far easier to change the color in studio than it was to replace that part in the actual build.
Yes, there are advantages to working digitally, McCluck. Such conveniences don't change the fact digital encourages the creation of impossible-to-build concepts.
Okay, let's now move on to the display.
Looks perfectly fine to me.
It pretty much is. I'm not planning on changing anything aside from the signage. I kinda like the globe of the original submission, which was trans blue as opposed to trans clear as we have here. So why not swap those pieces for the same ones but in trans blue?
Except that fishbowl part doesn't come in trans blue, only satin trans blue.
Even better, it gives it that extra shine. As for the arrow, I didn't like either the printed piece proposed in the original nor the brick-built one from the actual set. So let's remove it along with all the structure that held it together and replace it with a simple 1x2 round plate and this piece from a junior set from 10 years ago, which I think is kinda cool. So it's now my sign for the model.
It does give the setting a more industrial look, although it's one heck of a massive sign.
It makes it easier to see if you've got bad eyesight. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the changes we've made, so now is the time to deal with the minifigs. I'm sorry, but the included ones don't impress me much.
I thought you liked those new modernized classic space outfits.
Oh, I do, but somehow they don't work with this model. The original submission had the orange pilot suits from 2022, and those do look much better. But then again, since we've made all these other changes, why not have a little fun with the concept?
Oh, I've got an idea. Why not use the retro spacemen from the CMF series? The guys from the 17th series, and the women from the 26th.
Oh, I like that option.
I like it too. It's pretty cool, McCluck. Good find. But, if I may, I'd rather use actual classic space outfits instead.
Suit yourself.
I chose a couple from the most recent colors. Dark blue and purple, which look pretty cool.
Why not the latest light blue one?
Because it's exactly the same color as the car. Kinda looks odd to me. Huh? And then there's those fishbowl helmets.
What about them?
Look at the figs that came with the set. The helmets are just way too small, forcing both figs to be bald. Not that I've got anything against bald figs, mind, but it just doesn't look right. The original submission came with a much bigger, more fun headgear made up of 2 half-circle pieces, and best of all, that sphere is big enough to allow the inclusion of certain hair pieces, which just makes this a much more fun look for the minifigs.
It also gives them more air capacity should they venture away from the car without air tanks.
Let's put all this together and see the end result.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
That's a lot of effort for just some subtle changes.
It may be subtle, but I think it was worth it. But what do you think of this finished model? Are you planning on getting a copy yourself? Would you be making your own alterations to it? Let us know in the comments, and if you like what you do,
And how we do it, and you feel you'd like to help us out,
Please consider joining our Patreon.
as long as you can afford it, of course. The link's in the description and pinned comment.
and we'll speak to you again next time.